左邊少少唔該。放手落去凳度而家，冇喐。預備，一、二、三。
Historical memory is full of mythologies. It's not necessarily a matter of sort of selecting which are the good ones and the bad ones, or which is a one truth and all the others are false. It is a matter, though, of discovering which mythologies have been suppressed, which ones aren't allowed to speak because of the ways in which conventional history is written and the ways in which conventional historians have chosen to think about the past.
Excuse me. One moment, please. Please have a seat, sir. I'm sure we'll find it. Yes.
I need to change my seat, please.
I
don't speak Chinese. It's really noisy.
You look Chinese.
I am Chinese.
Then you should speak your language.
Look, the child next to me just ruined my shirt. How can I move to another seat?
Sorry, you have to speak to the conductor about that.
Chinese who came to Canada was during the 18th century. Those Chinese artisans who were working for John Mears, fur trader, and his ship that arrived on Vancouver Island. And eventually these Chinese men integrated and married native Canadian women. Chinese people came from San Francisco, particularly during the gold rush in the Fraser River Valley. Following that, Chinese people began to come as workers from China through Hong Kong and then to Victoria, and then working on the railroads and also working in many of the mines in the interior of BC.
一起小白人，離不聽間黃番邦，一路蘇起巴我葉金黃，車運蘇處路路望，不間恨你夾個紅。
Fellow countrymen, wait, read this. Scraping together a few $100, I left my home for a foreign land. Now I've been thrown into a prison cell.
相欠恨為就不神問，係起昂怒就悲情恨。
I cannot sleep because my heart is filled with hate. What I think of these foreign devils, my anger rises.
The early Chinese community, because it was largely male, was often referred to as a bachelor society. Many of the men who came over here were married, and they left their families in China for a number of different reasons. And even though they were married, they often referred to as bachelors too because they didn't have their wives and children with them.
Wow, this is great. Thanks.
Just come up for the ticket check, okay?
Don't worry, I have an alarm.
I am in hopes to bring up my daughters to be good wives and faithful mothers, and to offer my sons better opportunities in life than I had myself. I cheerfully contribute to support of schools, churches, charitable institutions, and other objects that enter into our daily life. But after I've maintained my family, performed these duties, not much is left of my wages when the week is ended. How is it with the Chinaman?
Chinese people clamped down on revealing who they were, right? And we still see the effects of this today. I tend to call it misplaced cultural protectionism, right? Because we were so misinterpreted, by the racist dominant culture that we just didn't talk about it in front of them, right? And before long we found ourselves not talking about it at all, and we just internalized that stigma, that, as stigma and shame within us.
The legislation never specifically said that women could not come. It was constructive discrimination in that if you wanted to bring a wife over or family over, you were deterred economically.
Si sui hong ni xua ben, si sui hong ni chi fan, si sui hong ni lai sam, si sui hong ni ching nuan chang chong.
Many of the women who came to Victoria came from immigrant villages where there is a tradition of the men going overseas and women staying home. So for them to marry with Gamsan husbands from North America, it wasn't anything unusual for them. They were used to years of separation. They were used to waiting.
你時時烏卜另外好相連，家庭個買空好快慣，我個都屋逐點腐爛，其他家庭用具亦好快爛，兩連我好快係個窮家庭。
The Chinaman can do as much